Well, we tip off the Sports Max zone with basketball. Generally, it's not realistic for any one player to carry a team on his or her back to win any team sport. But Steph Curry threw that mindset out the window as he produced an all-time performance on Sunday to eliminate the Sacramento Kings. The Warriors point guard became the first player to score 50 points in a Game 7 playoff outing and booked Golden State's place in the Western Conference playoffs. Let's take a look at those highlights.
Game 7, Golden State and Sacramento. Are De'Aaron Fox and the Kings ready to usher in a new era in Northern California basketball? First quarter, Steph Curry says, no, we're not there yet. Knocks down the three. But the Kings with great ball movement, all 5 players touch the ball, eventually into the hands of Malik Monk. Step back three, good. Then watch Monk. Gets it from Domantas Sabonis, gives it right back. Sabonis jams it home. Sabonis had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Steph Curry, step back three. Oh, you bet. Good. De'Aaron Fox patiently waiting. Sabonis down the middle. 2 more. Kings leading by 5. Steph Curry, the handoff, gets the screen. Good. He had 20 in the first half. Warriors trailing by 2 at the break, 58-56, third quarter. Curry with the rock. You cannot give him that much room. He will make you pay. And then Curry from the wing drives, falling down. The circus shot, got it to go, and the foul. Curry, the scoop as he falls flat on his stomach. Somehow the three-point play off the Andrew Wiggins miss. Kevon Looney. Wiggins gets it back, no, but there's Looney to clean up the mess. The 2 inside, and the Warriors lead by 9. De'Aaron Fox, top of the key. It's good. He had 16 points in the game. It's time for the Splash Brothers. Steph over to Klay. Klay Thompson, the 3, and the foul. Kings fans in disbelief as the Warriors extend their lead to 10. Into the 4th, Steph Curry unstoppable. Driving off the window, good. And then Curry, step back, 3, yes. How does this go down? Curry creating space, falling down. It is good. More from Steph. The runner stops at the free throw line. Steph is absolutely feeling it when his team really needs it. The inbounds, gives it up, gets it right back. The quick corner 3, good. The Kings could not find a way to slow down Steph Curry in the 4th quarter. And when the Warriors were up 22, he completely breaks down the Sacramento defense. Steph Curry, 50 points, the most ever in NBA history in a Game 7. And the Warriors take down the Kings 120-100. Golden State advances to the Western Conference semis to take on the Lakers.
We welcome NBA expert Alister Albert. Alister, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. Thanks for having me.
As always, it's a pleasure. We've run out, though, of words to describe Steph. Is it finally time to crown him as the best point guard we have ever seen?
Oh, I didn't think you'd lead off with that question. That's hard. The best point guard we've ever seen. I think it's. For me, I think we had this discussion. I think when he had won the ring last year, and I think George had asked me the same question: would I put him in that rank?
Yeah.
And it's a bit difficult to do that because I suppose I'm a bit of a purist, basketball purist, and I'm thinking about old-time point guards like John Stockton, and these guys who are pass-first type guys.
Yeah.
In terms of what he's able to do and produce and the way he's shooting the ball, he's just bring a different dynamic to the game, and change the game forever with his shooting ability. I think that kind of brings him into the fold because, of his position, his size and everything and what he's able to do. So I suppose in this modern era, I would say yes, but if I have to go in history, I still think I have guys like Jason Kidd and John Stockton and those pure point guards from yesteryear, who played the position as pass first guys. the definition of what a point guard is, I suppose, from that era. I still have them above in that sort of regard. But in this new modern day, I think Steph definitely claims that because the way he shoots the ball, his handles, you can't stop him, once he crosses the half-court line. So I think for the modern day context, definitely. I think for when you think in history, I still have him, maybe just a second or third thereabout.
Yeah, what's for sure is playoff mode. Steph Curry has been activated, and of course, the fans are really loving it, Alister. Initially, I was thinking about my question to pose to you, and I said, the question was going to be, were the Kings that bad, and was Steph, just that good? But of course, Steph was just that good. So maybe I'll have to rephrase and just ask you, where did the Kings, lose this one?
Lost their momentum, lost, a little bit of inexperience going on there. We're not just not able to hit shots. And Steph Curry, they just couldn't contain him. You saw that last basket that he made when he scored the 50th point. He was just dribbling around guys, like it's just playground, Harlem Globetrotters sort of stuff to hit that basket. They couldn't contain him. And of course, the gravity that he creates with the ball and everything, they just weren't able to stop it. And I think they've done quite a good job to get to that game 7. And even up to that first half, I think they were just down like 2 points or whatever. And, it was a really good attempt by them to try to dethrone, the Golden State Warriors. But yeah, Steph just showed up, and I think it's one of those series where I think it's even more so of a coming out party for Steph Curry, because there's no KD, there's no talk about Andrew Wiggins. This probably should have been the MVP or anything. This is Steph Curry's playoffs, and he's put his stamp on this series, and I think this is what's probably going to continue for the rest of the time they're in.
Yeah, definitely the Steph Curry show. Now Malik Monk, he got himself into some sort of trouble because to me, you don't speak out of turn, especially when you can't put your money where your mouth is. And of course, he got a lot of responses to it. Steph did it very classy. Of course, saying they don't need sound bites to motivate them. Draymond Green took a different route. What's your take on that? Because of course, the Monk not living up to it. So of course, getting a lot of backlash now.
Yeah, and that's what happens. You have to be able to as we say in modern day parlance, the receipts will be kept, and if you can kind of back it up. We saw what happened to Dylan Brooks in the Grizzlies series. Yeah. And if you can't back it up, you're going to be the butt of jokes on social media and everything. And yeah, Malik Monk, he was really excited. He's played such a really good playoffs series, with these Kings, revitalizing their bench and kind of taking you back to some of those old Sacramento bench mobs sort of, production from him specifically, where, he was able to come in and be such a lightning rod from offensively. But yeah, if you can't produce and you're talking, you're gonna get the shorter end of the stick, and I think that's just what happened with him there.
Well, he definitely was schooled. Now, Golden State's win, it sets them up with an enticing second-round matchup against Los Angeles Lakers. Alister, who do you see coming out on top in this series? I actually picked my team. I thought about it. I was speaking out loud. Lance heard me, but I want to hear yours first.
Boy, yeah, this is going to be probably the highest rated playoff series of this postseason. I think everyone wants to see LeBron and Steph go at it again. And in my predictions, I had Lakers winning in 6 games. Now, what we've seen from Steph Curry in this last round, where he just went berserk and went off in that last game, of course, scoring 50 points. Can he do it again? We're playing now a much more focused and a ready Los Angeles Lakers team who are ready to pounce and try to reclaim a lot of or recoup what they were not able to kind of do at the start of the season. They're now in the postseason and they're ready to go at it. The Warriors, I think I'm a little bit concerned of them defensively. This was a team who last year when they won, they were the first in defensive rating last year. They're actually really average. They're 17th this year. They haven't really been able to do quite a lot of stuff on the road, but of course we saw what happened in Sacramento. They were able to pull out road victories and everything. So let's see if they could have that. But for me, I think it's all about matchups and how the Lakers will be able to kind of match up against the Warriors will be very pivotal in this series. And I had a little graphic that I created that kind of showed who I think will kind of, who I think will really need to match up with each other. And I think Steph Curry will definitely have to it will be a committee thing, team defense by committee. But I think Jared Vanderbilt will definitely be making a name for himself in this postseason, whether bad or good. I think the Lakers will be using him, for his length, his versatility, his athleticism to try to run around all those screens and bother a lot of Steph Curry shot. Whether or not he has the stamina to do that will be a different thing. Now, of course, if he gets screened off the ball and, he's not able to contend, I like the chances of guys like Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, who are really good at help defense, weak side defense. The Lakers are actually first in the league in blocks in these playoffs of 9.2. I think that shows they're really good at upfront defense, but also picking up on the weak side and being able to clean up messes from guys who are not able to contest properly on their man. But of course, this Warrior team, they play a perimeter heavy offense, shooting threes. Of course, they're the first in the league in taking and making threes in this postseason. And I think, it'll be up to them to really play strong perimeter defense to have any chance to contain Steph and Clay.
Yeah, Alister, everyone's talking about the Curry-LeBron clash here. A quick comment on Klay Thompson, who grew up in Los Angeles, that's his hometown, and he has spoken a lot about his anxiety and his enthusiasm getting ready for this Lakers clash. He said he grew up watching Kobe Bryant's Lakers playing, and of course his dad, Michael Thompson, had played with the Lakers as well, Bahamas-born Michael Thompson. Your thoughts on Klay Thompson's approach to this game as he goes back to his hometown?
This makes me a bit nervous for him because there was something that came out from the press where he said, he's been waiting, 12 years, his whole career from being in the league, to try to play against the Lakers. And, even the league is setting this up. I think there was a conversation where it was said that David Stern had said long time ago, as he was commissioner, the best playoff series would be Lakers versus Lakers. This is probably going to be the closest we get to that in terms of Golden State versus the Lakers, and the energy, the production and the fan bases and everything that comes with that. So I think Klay is probably hyping himself up for this. And what we've seen a lot from this season and last season was Klay kind of pressing a bit too much. And him thinking about that, it kind of worries me a little bit because I think he's now there trying to want to, leave his imprint and impact on the game, which he can do very competently. I think this is a guy who has shown, throughout history that he's one of the best performers in the playoffs and regular season. But if he's going to be thinking about that a little bit too much, I'm worried about how much, he'll press and probably take himself and making some uncharacteristic shots and probably affect the flow of the team moving forward. So that's something I'm actually going to watch really closely from Klay Thompson, how he plays. Does he press too much? Does Steve Kerr needs to pull him up in timeouts and say, hey, Klay, chill out. Let's let the ball move around and get the ball where you need to. Don't force shots and that sort of stuff. So, but for him, understandably, this is a big thing. His father played for the Lakers. He grew up, watching the Lakers. He probably wanted to play for the Lakers himself, and he's going up against them right now. So his excitement is totally understandable, but he needs to keep that in check and play within the flow of their offense and what the defenses give him.
Yeah, well, we're all looking forward for that matchup. And what's for sure is the Warriors-Lakers isn't the only big-time matchup left in the conference playoffs. Boston Celtics will be taking on their longtime foes, the Philadelphia 76ers, in what promises to be a close clash. However, the Sixers MVP finalist Joel Embiid is doubtful going into Game 1. Alister, is there any way the Sixers can pull it off with or without Embiid?
I give them a chance. I think I said the last time we spoke, I said I actually have them pulling this out against the Celtics because I think, this is probably their time and they're going to play with a level of energy. Tyrese Maxey is, of course, 1 year more experience and, he's shown that he could lead this team, leading them in points per game, actually, in the playoffs so far. And I think they have what it takes to kind of take out the Celtics. If Joel Embiid is injured, however, it says he has a knee injury. He's doubtful. He's probably not going to play in this first game. There's also something that was allegedly said that he might have had a tear in his knee somewhere. So if it's as bad as a tear and it could affect him long term, I don't give the 76ers a chance to call. We need Joel Embiid and his 11 rebounds, 20 points a game, and his presence to have any chance to win against the Celtics. But if he's healthy and he's able to come in, the Sixers could actually win this first game without him, even if that's the case. I do give them a chance if he could come back in game 2 and kind of take this series in about 6 or 7 games. That was my prediction, and I'll stick with it for now.
Right, and what about James Harden? What type of games are we expecting to see from him, Alister?
Well, to start this series, what's really good with Embiid not being there is it's going to give him an opportunity to kind of get back into a little bit of an offensive flow. So far, we've seen James Harden just averaging something like 17 points, 5 rebounds, 8.8 assists per game so far. The assist leader this season, but he's just under 10 assists this time. But I think we might have to see if James Joel Embiid is not actually playing, we might to see a little more of Houston James Harden coming out, where he's a lot more explosive offensively. Tyrese Maxey has kind of taken that on board. Tobias Harris has done really well in the last series, averaging 20 points a game himself. And, they would need to consider that. But James Harden, for them to have any chance against the Celtics and their offensive firepower, James Harden has to step up and be prolific offensively as well as with his passing skills as well.
Yeah, it'll definitely be exciting because, of course, Jaylen Brown, we have Jason Tatum, then we get to see Harden. I think this is also a very, very mouth-watering clash, as I said in the opening. And Alister, we're looking forward to chat with you about these exciting fixtures. I want to thank you for joining us on The Zone, and we'll talk again soon.
No problem. Looking forward to recapping the games as they continue.
Yeah, as the excitement builds up. Thanks again, Alister Albert, our NBA expert. Before we jet off, a reminder that the NBA lives on your home of champions, and we will have 2 huge playoff games tonight. That's the Celtics versus the Sixers. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semis will take place at 6:30, 7:30 ECT. And Game 2 of the Western Conference semifinal clash between Denver Nuggets and Phoenix Suns take place at 9:10 ECT. Break time.